Beneath the tranquil surface of idyllic waters lie true horror stories that will send shivers down your spine. Today on Scarier Things, we delve into 3 disturbing tales where the catch of the day was more than any angler bargained for. From the depths emerge chilling scares and true stalker nightmares that transform serene streams into scenes of scary true stories. So, cast your line if you dare, but be warned. These waters are teeming with more than just fish. They're the breeding ground for true scary stories that are anything but fish tales. First story. In the vicinity of my old house, there existed a pond located about half a mile away. It was affectionately known as DeRose Pond, although the origin of the name remained a mystery to me. The intriguing aspect was that nobody claimed ownership of this serene spot. Occasionally, others would venture there for fishing, but more often than not, it was just me. I had fashioned a makeshift fishing setup, a pole anchored in the ground, connected to my small kayak. One sunny afternoon, around 3 o'clock, I paddled out to the middle of the pond, the prime spot for a decent catch. As I settled into my routine, I noticed another person emerging from the nearby trees. I waved and offered a friendly smile. He climbed into a small boat tethered at the pond's edge and began rowing toward me. Our conversation started awkwardly, with me attempting not to sound obnoxious. "Beautiful day, isn't it?" I ventured. His response was a simple, "Yes, absolutely." However, the silence that followed made me uneasy. I felt compelled to maintain some form of conversation. "Are you here to fish too?" I asked. Surprisingly, he replied, "No, I don't actually fish." His demeanor was odd, neither threatening nor friendly. At 24 years old, I found myself sharing the water with a man who appeared to be in his late 40s or 50s. His dry responses left me feeling uncomfortable. As we sat there, he stared at me, or perhaps in my general direction, with a half smile. The situation grew increasingly eerie. We were surrounded by trees, isolated in the middle of the pond. I subtly maneuvered my kayak closer to the shore, hoping to escape the odd encounter. To my horror, he followed suit. My heart raced. I felt nervous for my safety. Finally, I decided to call it a day and edged toward the pond's edge. His gaze remained fixed on me, but now his smile had vanished. "I can't let you leave," he declared, revealing a handgun tucked into his jeans pocket. Panic surged through me. Without hesitation, I leaped out of the boat, sprinted half a mile uphill through the woods, and secured every door and window upon reaching home. Nightfall brought more fear. I left the lights off, peeking through the dining room blinds. The sound of leaves crunching outside shattered my nerves. Was it a deer or bear? But after the recent encounter, paranoia consumed me. The voice shattered my fragile peace. "Hey buddy, are you up there? Trying to sleep?" It was him, the same man. I remained silent, crawling downstairs to call 911 from the safety of my bedroom. 20 agonizing minutes passed as I awaited the police. They searched the property and nearby woods, finding nothing. Their advice: stay with a friend or family member. I followed it, eventually moving away. The constant fear of being watched through my windows haunted me. Now, I find solace fishing by the bay instead. Second story. Once, I accompanied my brother-in-law Jack on a fishing trip. Along with a couple of his friends and my sister, we set sail from the wealthier side of town, where Jack's house overlooked the bay. His luxurious boat, named Alexei after my sister, was moored at a pre-built wooden dock right in his backyard. Jack's life had always been easy, thanks to his wealth, and my sister enjoyed the same comforts since marrying him. As we embarked on our adventure, the initial excitement waned. Only one largemouth bass had been caught, and Jack claimed that prize. The others indulged in excessive drinking, while my sister scolded me for being underage. I found solace on the back deck, soaking up the sun and enjoying the calm waters. The sunset painted the sky a beautiful orange hue, and Jack fired up the grill for burgers, oddly chosen over the freshly caught fish. As darkness enveloped us, the ocean felt both calming and unsettling. We were isolated, surrounded by nothingness. The drunken revelry continued inside, with music blaring and laughter echoing. They invited me to play cards against humanity, and I obliged, grabbing an extra beer. My sister's nagging had ceased, and I finally relaxed. Suddenly, a noise interrupted our merriment. Two men called for help from a smaller boat below. We rushed outside, and I felt torn. Jack, inebriated, decided to assist them. We lowered a ladder, and the men climbed aboard, grateful but unresponsive. They devoured leftover burgers and accepted a jerrycan of gasoline. Unease settled over me, but we let them go. Later, we settled into makeshift beds, Jack and my sister in the bedroom, their friends on the cot and couches. I tossed and turned, unable to sleep. A trip to the bathroom revealed an eerie sound, a boat motor and splashing water. I activated the searchlight, scanning the dark waters. There it was, the same boat approaching. Then, a blood-curdling scream erupted from below. Terrified, I ran back inside. Jack's friends were equally alarmed. They claimed to have seen figures standing over them. We rushed to the deck, but the men had vanished. We pointed in the direction of their boat, but it was too late. They'd disappeared. We searched for missing items. Only a few cans of gasoline, Jack's wallet, and keys. The eerie part. Weeks later, security cameras captured hooded figures attempting to unlock Jack's front door. We remain 99% sure it was all too dumb. Third story. When I was 21 years old, I had the extraordinary opportunity to accompany my 84-year-old grandfather on a fishing expedition for the very first time. He was a seasoned angler, and we embarked on an excursion to a secluded lake that remained a closely guarded secret. The journey took us away from the hustle and bustle of suburban life, meandering through tranquil roads until we arrived at a remote destination. Despite his advanced age, my grandfather's determination shone brightly as he single-handedly carried the boat through the dense thicket of the forest. Once settled in the boat, my grandfather patiently initiated me into the nuances of casting the line and baiting the hook. As we engaged in our angling endeavor, my grandfather's concentration heightened noticeably. He leaned forward, his gaze fixed intently upon the water's surface, studying it with unwavering focus. Intrigued, I attempted to pose a question, but my grandfather remained silent, his attention undivided. Moments later, I glanced back at him, only to find him positioned even closer to the water's edge, an air of unease palpable around him. Something felt amiss. Reacting on instinct, I reached out to touch his shoulder, only to witness him forcefully repel an unseen presence back into the depths of the water. Urgently, he instructed me to pedal the boat away, his demeanor fraught with urgency. Fear gripped me. I was bewildered by the inexplicable events unfolding before me. Abandoning our boat and equipment, we made a frenzied retreat back to the safety of the car. As my grandfather assumed the role of driver, I beseeched him for clarification, desperate for answers to the enigma that had just transpired. Finally, he relented, sharing with me the chilling tale of his encounter. He had beheld something within the water, a visage emerging ominously, drawing ever nearer. It defied all rational explanation, resembling the semblance of a human countenance yet bearing an otherworldly aura. His cryptic words reverberated within my consciousness. All I know is it wasn't any ordinary fish. In the ensuing weeks, the haunting memory lingered, leaving us grappling with a multitude of unanswered questions and unsettling uncertainties.